Gold Chain Music and Team Fame Music Group comes MC and performing artist K.BURNS. With the recent release of Big Red Machine and also the standout single Dangerous Wave, K.BURNS continues to leave his mark on underground hip hop. He's well known for his collaborations and association with artists such as Planet Asia, Tri-State, E the Mad Assassin, Supreme Cerebral, Montage One, and many more. In addition to his collaborations, he's built an impressive discography which includes projects such as Baggery, Scartoon, Chain Gangers, Plata Plomo, and many more. He rarely gives interviews, so tune in to learn about his journey in music, what he's currently working on, and future plans at 5:30 p.m. LA, 8:30 p.m. New York. Let's bring him in. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
My
Peace.
brother, what an honor to have you on the Cristopolis show. What a career. So many albums and mixtapes that it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? You're such a prolific artist, but there's a specific project that I think many people know you for that just had its 10-year anniversary, right? A Stoner's
Yes,
Life. Maybe we could
sir.
start off opening right there because that's such a significant project.
Oh man, Chris, I appreciate you, man. Stoner's Life, that started out, that was actually the flagship and the cornerstone project of my label, Team Fame Music Group. Back in 2014, I was on a mixtape run and I ended up meeting Sway Calloway when I was walking down my block, and that led me to like a freestyle of Sway in the morning. And from there, I decided to not just scream Team Fame on the song and make it like a hood thing. I decided to make it a real full blown business. So me and my older brother launched the LLC, and that was our first flagship project. So it started out as an EP, and I was bringing forth a more of an in-depth sound that I never put on the mixtape scene before. And from there, it grew, and I was on the road, and I did the second Rolling Loud, and so on and so forth. And the sound just kept growing organically. The people was eating it up. Every time I dropped some shit like that. So I wanted to commemorate being a 10-year-old company because I
Yeah.
wasn't able to throw the 10-year plant party that we had envisioned and all of that. So I just felt it would be good to reintroduce the people to it and whatever have you. And just it's always good to bring it full circle. You know what I mean? And it was something that was needed. I think it was well
Yeah.
deserved. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it was good to see it grow from a 7-track project to being a 10-track album today. It's kind of surreal. And
Yeah.
I'm really just happy that the people ate it up. I appreciate everybody love and support for that one. So we just looking forward to that. Shout out to digging in the CD.com and shout out to Erie Records for believing in the project for the re-release. I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
good.
No, they're such a dope, digging in the CD.com is such a dope company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
them the bros, them the guys. They giving a lot of shots to a lot of people, and we need more of that in the
Yeah.
game. So salute to them for that and for believing in the vision. And shout out to everybody that went out there and bought a copy as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep it going.
What's really interesting is you mentioned how you were on a mixtape run and then that was the flagship project, right?
Right.
Those mixtapes, right? We're talking, a lot of mixtapes. And this
Yeah.
is like in the Dat Piff era. You know
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
talking
saying?
like
And like you were
that
just
fifth
busy.
era. Yeah, like to the streets. We was in the pavement with it too. I think just being from New York, that was just our thing that we did out there. So it was something that I always wanted to have under my belt. I wanted to have a certain amount of mixtapes before I even stepped into making an album. I wanted to not only build a core following, but just get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Give yourself
Yeah.
room to grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Just I don't know if you know exactly how many, but about how many mixtapes do you think you released?
At least like between 13, 14 probably. Cause we used to keep count. Like I used to keep count. And we used to like drop like 3, 4 mixtapes a year with like 20 songs and shit like that. So that's why like what I'm doing now is more condensed. And it's not hard to do that now. When you come from growing up, this is how we like really, really sharpened our pen and like honed our craft. So even before the underground run, even before the EPs and everything, there was a foundation and core of mixtapes there, that you could go dig for today. It's a bunch of them out there. We got more that even hit the streets before the internet. Some of them never even made it to the internet because that wasn't the climate of the hip hop game at that time.
Yeah.
So it's good to be a part of that culture and have grown from that cloth to the independent cloth to revert over industry stuff, and come to the essence and come to hip hop, So it's good. I'm really, really proud of myself and proud of my guys that's been very, very vigilant and supportive of me taking this stance. It hasn't been easy, and I appreciate all the listeners, yourself included, that's like really, really been in tune with it, and I'm happy for that. That's
Thank
the
you, brother.
fulfillment.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And it's a really fascinating trajectory that you've had because the landscape of music has been changing so fast,
it.
right? So, there was an era that you're talking about that's that mixtape era. Then came the Dat Piff and the digital mixtapes. Then came the distributors like CD Baby. You still had to pay for each release, but DistroKid opened up the game where you could just flood the market. And now you
Right.
got the EPs with the producers, but you've done something really interesting that I see a lot of prolific underground and really like hip hop artists doing, which is they're starting to take their music off of all of the distributors and putting it on their band camps
Yeah.
or putting it right into physical products.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about, your because you're a businessman, you're a CEO of
Yeah.
your label. You've been
Mm-hmm.
10-year anniversary. You know what I'm
Appreciate
saying?
it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're in the game, and there's one thing to like have a project out there so that you can listen to it on Spotify. It's another thing to make money, and it's another thing to try to make a living and to re-up, right? You
Right.
always need to re-up,
I
right?
mean, that's
So
where it comes from, the hustle, and that's not to even cut you off. It's just a bottom line hustle, and I don't think that people have enough of that. We look for so many other formulas and so many other marketing schemes and so many other business acumens, quote unquote. But like, good old fashioned hustle,
yeah,
like $1 turning into three, that like you can't beat that, So I think from coming from the hand to hand days of physical sales on the corner and hearing no so many times, there's nothing to go on the internet and just blast that shit out and not even have to really be there. I remember my brother used to be outside really, really trapping with CDs right there too. So it was like, you don't want to buy that, you gotta buy that. Or if you buy that, you gotta buy that. So we always had a scheme with it. You know what I'm saying? We was young doing this shit because I was putting my first mixtapes out at like 15, 16. So like we
wow,
always was doing that, and then it revolves to like really, really putting out hosting mixtapes by known DJs and so forth. So but it's always that basic know how to make one turn into three. We're
yeah,
not trying to make it turn into two. We're trying to make one turn into three.
yeah,
And that's something that my brother taught me. My uncle Rick, my mom, they come from that hustle cloth. So even before, like when it was music, they was telling you like you doing this shit for fun, or you trying to get to the money. So it was like I'm in it for the craft, but they still in my ear about the business
yeah,
side. So I always was able to do that. But from understanding the market, I was able to like see the transitions, and I'm telling my dudes like, look, I see this that pip shit is popping. Like you got to start putting some of the
mhm,
stuff on there. So I just try to stay ahead of the curve. So at least if that do happen, you kind of already got your hand in it already, and that's how I was able to do the Bandcamp shit because I had Bandcamp for about maybe 10 years before I uploaded one song on it. And
wow,
seriously, and like I studied the market. You know what I'm saying? Like I already know what's going on in a business sense on the industry level because I've been signed to major labels before. So that's pretty much easy to spot if you just listen to like the radio.
yeah,
But when you go digging for music, like how I be digging for music, I'm listening to all kind of different stuff just to keep my palate full. And what I noticed with Bandcamp is that Bandcamp had an audience of buyers.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
an audience of listeners. You know what I'm saying? So I was more so figuring out in 2017 and 2016 in my head. I'm doing all this other shit on the road, right? But I'm thinking in my head, how could I crack this code right here and create something for myself that's gonna be meaningful that I could have and I could sustain after a label. And it was all a dream, and it really worked. So I appreciate everybody that believe in me. They help support me, my children, my family. I'm able to live off of this, go on the road, put a lot of what's given to me monetarily back into it to make a quality project for the next run and an
yeah.
even better catalog. So that's why we're able to do a lot of things right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now it's fascinating, and it's a lot of knowledge that you're sharing with people in regards to this new model, really, that's kind of changing, and there's not that many people doing what you're able to do, which
Right.
is, to actually take a product, know how to navigate the DSPs, the physical media, the touring aspect of it, and the international aspect of it. Because you got a lot of international fans. Can you talk to us about, yeah? Can you talk to us about, where your music's moving and what that's like to have people across the country and in other nations listening to K.BURNS?
Uh, I remember being about I started rapping when I was about 12, and I'm 38 now, so I got time in. I remember being about 11 or 10 and just watching like a Onyx documentary, right?
Yeah,
And I was vividly just randomly one day wondering like, where's Chris Cross at? Where's Onyx around this at this age, right?
yeah,
So this is '96. I'm thinking about this, right? And, one late night, I'm watching just flicking through TV, and on HBO was like an Onyx hip hop documentary. People I might have seen it, but they was overseas already, right? And I was like, wow, that's that's where they been at, right? So it was like, all right, so that seed was already planted, like like predating me even picking up the pen or even fathoming I'm gonna do this type of shit. And I thought it was dope. I'm like, that's so fire, you know what I'm saying? Because I know like God Sham God had went overseas and played basketball. I know the Brooklyn Bowlers that went over there and did that. So I'm like, that's dope. You can do it on some music shit. So now I'm getting older and I'm discovering Jimi Hendrix and I'm like around 12 and 13 and the Beatles, right? And I was real, even before Jimmy, I was always like fascinated how the Beatles came from Liverpool and blew in
yeah,
America, right?
yeah,
And then I see Jimi Hendrix from America go over to London and he blows over there. So I always just had this passion, like from having like a martial arts background and a baseball background. I know how much those are prevalent in the culture of Japan. So I always said, if I don't go to the major leagues, I'll just go play ball over in Japan and I'll rap over in Japan and just be a hip hop star over there. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So I was already thinking like, y'all want this music to reach over there, right? And it started happening, right? So like when we started hitting the internet, we started, and this was like really early in the game. I'm talking like MySpace days. We're already doing interviews with like Rago magazine over in the UK and all of these type of stuff. And from there it just kept spiraling. So I think that's how it built to a to the international audience that I got today because I like I just lost my last social media, so I'm sure a lot of people probably looking for me and stuff, but that's happened so
yeah. I
many
saw that, man.
times.
They had like, would it get hacked?
Yeah, they got the shit hacked out of me. They hacked my whole, the whole hood got hacked. They hacked the whole set. They dead wrong. Like, but it be like that. I don't think that that affects me as much. It was definitely like an eye opener, and I wanted to see what happened. We're right about to drop fucking War Dog, and I'm about to go on this War Dog tour, and I'm like, well, let's see how much we really got. Let's see if they really fucking with us. We don't need all the
Yeah,
numbers to look good. Let's see if we really could make our mark and reach our goals. And we was able to do that, even with canceling 2 shows from the fires in California. So
yeah,
we was blessed. It all come from that audience. It come from knowing how to talk to people overseas and network and just understanding their culture. So when you do encounter these people, it's not all about our culture. I meet so many people and I let them know how much I appreciate their culture and they
yeah,
appreciate mine even more, I guess, because it's like my appreciation for theirs. So
yeah,
it's full circle. As we're affecting them, they're affecting us too. So that's
yeah,
that's the beauty of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. And that's another, kind of reason why that physical media and actually the real connection with the fans is really important beyond just the social media presence and being on
Mm,
streaming. Because that could disappear. Like you experienced. One day somebody took over and boom, but you actually got physical products out
right.
there. You got real fans out there that are gonna go and find you.
Yeah. I mean, I think I appreciate the listeners and supporters and the investors that's like vested listeners in my music and the art and the craft and every the way I'm going about it because I know it's very unconventional,
Yeah,
but it takes a lot for somebody to go dig for music because it's so much administered and spoon fed to you now, right? So one thing about me is when I do encounter one of these people, I'm like super. They're hyped to meet me, and I'm hyped to meet them because it's like I know the type of artist I am. It's not for the masses, right? So imagine being like that one of one or that 12-piece item, and somebody really come and buy you and take you home. They're gonna treat it a lot differently and appreciate it more. So I try to appreciate my audience, my listeners, my supporters, and my investors. They're all in different brackets because everybody's different. Somebody might not have it to buy or invest into you, right? And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is like the high end price purchases. That's what I mean by investing because that's why I'm doing so more many deals with the smaller labels to get some of these classes that you might have missed at a premium price out,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not all about the money. I make money. You know, I wouldn't be traveling and the places that people see me if I didn't do it. I'm self funded, right? But it's just it's the mutual appreciation, you know. And I think that go a long way. And I'm just the type of artist that I've been at shows and I'm in the crowd with the people. It's like that's you, yeah, that's me. What's up? It's like you know what I'm saying. I want to see Planet Asia perform too. Yeah, that's bro. But after I perform, I want to get off the stage and watch the show too because I'm still a fan of hip hop. Yeah, I want to see Mobb Deep tear this shit up. Like you know what I'm saying. So to be backstage and to go back and forth. It's good to be out there with the people, you know. And I always want to touch the people. Jesus touched the people. Bernie want to touch the
Yeah.
people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that's
hmm
that's what hip hop is, man. This is what we all fell in love with.
That was always what I fell in love with. Like you know
Yeah.
the tangible, like the fact that hip hop was tangible and rap was so far out of reach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like the essence of something that you can't deny. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you touched on the tour. You tour a lot. You've been touring for a minute. Can you talk to us
Yeah.
about just touring, right? Because like there's so many aspects
Whew.
of it, right? There's the live show in the
Yeah.
different cities, but there's the
Yeah.
logistics,
Yeah.
there's who's going, how you do it. What can you share with us about, your most recent tour, upcoming tour, and knowledge you could drop for people like you that are in the independent grind?
But I don't have a team right behind me, like drawing this shit up. A lot of people may think that or whatever, but what I do have, right, is I have brothers, biological brothers. You know, shout out to Hayes, shout out to Biz, shout out to Ja, shout out to Trey. You know, shout out to my brothers. You know, because each one of them play a role in my life, and they all a different age and a different point. Like Ja turning 25 Saturday, you know what I'm saying? So he give me the young boy edge, where it's like, all right, cool, that's what they on, right? But then I got Hayes, who's a year older than me. That's like my running mate, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but even though he's my running mate, he leans more towards the industry sound, but he know who his little brother is too. You know what I'm saying? And then I got Biz. Biz rap. Me and Biz started rapping together. You know what I'm saying? So like my brothers could take me on at any given time. Like I got brothers that's legitimately just as good as me as rap. They just don't put it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I'm taking all of these ideas and I'm going back to the drawing board. Like for instance, like my brother Trey. Trey rap as good as the best of them, but he don't care about that stuff. Trey is more into logistics and management and like where am I staying at? And who am I staying
Yeah.
with? All right. Do we got security, right? Because he's big on security. Like, you know, he down south in Florida, open fucking carry laws. They don't play.
Yeah.
So he's like, we not going certain places. There's certain things. We lived a certain life. So there's certain places we just not going. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right. Absolutely.
So it's like we take into account so much. You know, we looking at the prices of things because the price of gas changed when you go from California to Arizona, back up
Hmm.
to Nevada, back into California and coming back down. You know, so we
Yeah.
know that we know how the East Coast work. We know how to I learned how the Bible Belt work. You
Yeah.
know, I had went and did some music in a certain area and it was like that's too hardcore down here. They're not with that. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
you learn all of these things and then you do the analytics with your fans and you if you're really engaging with the people, you kind of know who is where. And I ship a lot of my copies out. So I know where my supporters is at that's coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On top of the
Because you're going to
on
the
top of
post
Bandcamp.
office.
Right. I'm going to the it was a point in time where shit, I remember like 2017, 18, and 19, the market was so healthy, right? Because there wasn't so many artists, producers, and labels. It was just so healthy where I would spend my weekends in the post office,
Yeah.
you know, and it was chaotic, you know, to the point where I got little storage spots around the country. So when I'm in this place, I got this over at the homie house in that region, or that might be in my storage over there, or that might be in when I'm in Brooklyn. This is over here. When I'm in Cali, that's over there. But when I'm in Boston, I got this over there. When I'm in Florida, I got a load of shit in Florida because I did so many shows in Florida. I got like inventory out there.
Yeah.
So you know, over time, you accumulate these connections, and the way I'm doing it now, I always had a vision of doing it like that, but it took 10 years of like not trial and error, but meeting the right people. You know, you meet a lot of the wrong people along the way, right? and
For
then you get
sure.
to the point where you get to the meat, right? And this is who we can work with, and that's how I've been touring, you know.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
And I think that that
blessing.
kind of leads to like a really good question that, your fans are probably curious about is if you could share with us how that Brooklyn Cali connect happen.
Well, man, Easy E. Believe it or not, like remember I'm an '80s
Yeah.
baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you born in '86, who's the hottest
Dude,
dudes in hip hop? That's
Easy E changed my life,
like
bro.
I can't
Easy
even
E,
front.
I feel like he's not given the credit he
He's not.
deserves,
I
actually.
mean, that's why I say it so much because it's like I'm from New York, and I know everybody expected me to say yo, Biggie J. Definitely, we think that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
if I really think back to the point of inception, right? Because I've been learning how to do that. Like, it's like go really, really dig deep, right, and go back. And when I think to the point of inception, that nigga said, cruising down the street in my 6'4". I don't know how. I had to be about 2 when I remembered that shit, right? But it did something to me. Like
Yeah.
them beats that all of that shit just was like. And then you gotta think my parents is 18 years older than me, so they playing this shit all day. And I remember Easy E was like what a Bobby Shmurda was when he blew, and all the kids was like watching that. I remember when Humpty Dump came out, we was doing a Humpty Dump, and I remember going to see Chubb Rock and all of these. I remember, so when I see these little babies come along in the NBA YoungBoy, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get
Yeah.
it. I listen to the shit too. I ain't gonna lie. So that right there kind of set the seed. And then from playing baseball, I was
Yeah.
supposed to come out here to play in Long Beach State, but
Oh.
but I got into some legal issues as a juvenile,
Yeah.
and that kind of fucked up my scholarship office. If you ever go listen to Do the Right Thing on my album, I talk about the whole shit
Got it.
on Stoner Life. But with that being said, I started rollerblading, and like when you rollerblade on the East Coast, it's like we want to go to Cali, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
all of them want to come to New York, so it was like it was always that. And then I discovered Planet Asia when I was about 12, like about 97, 11, 12. You know what I'm saying? And to see him doing what he doing, how he's doing it,
Yeah.
being from here, that was always another interesting thing. And then gang banging shit. So all of this stuff kind of like it's like a dot connector. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's never just one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of shit. And this is Hollywood. So where else would a kid from downtown Brooklyn grew up with Biggie, watching the influences of that, and being from a neighborhood that he saw go from gentrification to being the new Times Square in New York?
Yeah.
I got big city vibes. You know what I'm saying? I fit right in LA. So it's like you go back and forth between Brooklyn and LA. That's a vibe. So I'm going from Brooklyn, LA to motherfucking Florida. That's a vibe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm going, oh, Brooklyn, LA, Chicago. Oh, that's a vibe. Oh, we in Houston. Oh, that's a vibe. So everything, it just built up after a while. And the people just love us when we come in. We love them back, and we show love, and they show love, and it's just been growing over the years, and it's just a blessing.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I always say it's a blessing. I can't give myself credit. I can't give the fans enough credit, right? Because they all go to God. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So he opened these doors for me, and he opened up people's hearts and ears to hear me, and I'm just going to keep giving them what they want. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
love it in LA, and I love it in New York. So it's like, why not? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It ain't a hard
absolutely.
choice.
Absolutely. They're both such magnificent places.
So when I'm home, like right now, the weather is like raining and shit, but we all know like once that sun crack in New York, we outside. Like they said, we outside. So I'm looking forward to being outside this summer. So you're gonna see me back home a lot, and I just want to just keep moving
Yeah.
and just keep touching the people everywhere I go.
Yeah, bro. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to ask, right? Because you're talking about your baseball upbringing and you
yeah,
were heavy deep into
right,
baseball, right?
right.
This World Series that just passed must have been wild for you, right? As a New Yorker and Cali and the whole thing. And also the connection with the Japanese superstars at in LA now.
Hmm.
Talk to us about just
um,
a side note
um,
from the music, because I know
I
you're passionate about
right.
that too.
So everybody know that about me, right? So what's crazy is my grandmother. Shout out to grandma. She up there. My grandma was up there. She's about to be 85. It's a blessing to see her make it there. So my grandmother's first hero was Jackie Robinson,
Wow.
right? And she from Brooklyn. My grandmother wasn't. I don't have story of the family that came from the South and moved. He was already up
Yeah,
there already, you know what I'm saying? So my grandmother
yeah.
was born in Brooklyn. So she watched this shit happen. So my family's predominantly National League fans, and they all Dodger fans and Mets fans because my cousin and my granddad played big league ball for the Mets,
Wow.
right? Me and my uncle that just passed are the only Yankee fans. So the whole watching that whole like ALCS and the NLCS alone, I was good with that because it's like whoever goes to the World Series, as long as the Yankees make it, I don't care who win the NLCS, and I'm good either way. But it was like honestly, that might have been the second best World Series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Second, second best, second best, and it was just, I mean, shit. Freddie Freeman had an LA story. Like he had a. I don't think that
Such a
you
pivotal
know.
moment, man.
It's so that's why like a lot of I told my boy the other day. He asked me right. He was like, "Yo, if you could tell people one thing," because we was talking about the interview, right? You know, like if you could tell people one thing, what would you tell them? Like, give them one little thing they don't know about you. I'm like, well, I don't get inspired to rap from rap. I get
Oh, that's good.
inspired to rap from sports. So when I'm in the studio and stuff or whatever, I got sports on. Like it's on mute. You know what I'm saying? Like right now it's on mute, right?
Yeah,
But uh those moments are like so life changing moments, right? And
yeah,
it's so inspiring. It's like it's eye watering moments and it's stuff that you can't make up. Like it's happening right now. It's in the now, right?
yeah,
You can't script this shit, right? And to see Freddie Freeman do what he did, as far as being the LA kid in the Dodgers uniform, walk off grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, that's some shit you do in the park with your friends when the
yeah.
rain is coming down. You go, all right, hold on, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, you swinging for the fences, and it never happens, right? So to see him do that shit in the game, and I understand that being a baseball player,
Yeah.
like it's like wow, he really did it. So like he could chill for the rest of his life.
He's good. He's a legend forever.
Forever, forever. And then to beat the pinstripes, like yeah, it was dope. And then
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Otani coming in, I've been watching Otani. Like I've been hearing the legend of the temple for the longest. That's what I call him. Like it's like I've been hearing about him for the longest. So to see him really come and go to the Angels and go through those trials and tribulations, I think it just made him game ready for now. Because he was going
Yeah.
to the Yankees or the Dodgers, so whatever that was. So it was great. I love it.
That's
Baseball, I
dope.
love it.
That's dope.
I love it.
That's
Yeah,
dope,
that was
man.
that
Thank you
was
for
it.
sharing that with your baseball
Yeah,
background and the New
yeah,
York Cali
yeah,
connection. I know
yeah.
that you must have been like glued to the television.
Oh man, I'm actually dropping some NFTs. My baseball
Yeah, yeah,
NFTs
yeah.
is coming
Talk
out this
to us
year.
about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. I got some digital NFTs coming. It's exclusively for the playoffs. Like I gotta make sure I get enough games in because I've been on the road. But as long as I make it to the playoffs, whatever, I'm dropping an NFT. We're gonna give live stats per game. I'm only dropping like 4 per game. It's gonna have highlights on the back of the car. We're gonna do some fly shit. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be dope. It's an experience, and that's what I try to create every time I drop something. I try to create an experience.
Yeah. With the
Yeah.
NFTs, like, what do you mean that, like, is it going to be like the related to the game or related to you and
Nah, it's
music
gonna be
or?
100% related to baseball. I don't want to. It's definitely gonna come with an exclusive track though. I gotta always throw my own K.BURNS shit in there. But we gonna separate the two. I don't want to really mix the two as yet. I know everybody's waiting for this big baseball tape, and it's coming. It's coming. No, don't like force it though. I want it to be natural and organic because that's how it's always been for me. That's always been my process. And if
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about something, I want it to be from the heart. I don't want to just make a baseball tape
Yeah.
because and y'all kind of missed it in my mixtape days. I dropped
Yeah,
a
yeah,
spring
yeah,
training
yeah,
tape. You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm
Well, how you
saying?
were
So,
talking about, right? Smokers
yeah,
only, right? So like, you
yeah,
got to join in there.
right. So it's like we gotta just do that. And it's something that a lot of producers have approached me about. Like especially finding out like you really play, especially like when I moved to LA and they like, you going to the gym? Like, yeah, I gotta go to the gym. Like you go to the batting cage? Like, yeah, I got a game Sunday, I twisted my ankle, threw my arm out of place, all kind of shit. So it's like, yeah, I play. I'm gonna give people something like maybe that's like a retirement plan project or something that I just gotta give to people. Like that's how that's how the Big Red Machine came about. It wasn't that I
Yeah,
wanted
so
to do a
that's
wrestling
like the
tape.
perfect segue, right?
Right,
Because they talk about the baseball, but you got the wrestling joint.
right. So that wasn't, and I get excited about that tape because that started from a joke, like Exo, like yeah, who the fuck you think you is, the Big Red Machine? He was like, and then we both right.
Oh,
So it just stopped, and it was like, hold on, what? Say that again? And he like, yeah, you think you Kane, the Big Red Machine? And I was like, yo, what's crazy is like I never touched that wrestling shit and rap, and I know they want me to do it. You know, it's like that might be something I can give the people. And he was like, yeah, do that. So that's why Ecto got the A&R credits on it. He was like, yeah, do that. And I was like, all right, cool. So if you give me an idea and it's authentic, we running with it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that was dope, and I was able to actually I discovered how much me and Kane got in common as I'm making this tape, right? Because you might not know at first, right? So
Yeah.
it really came to life like that. And it's like now I'm really the big red machine. You know, we brought it to life. So, so that's dope. That's alchemy right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Full scale.
Yeah, that's good, man. You know,
Hmm.
and there's another project that we got to talk about that's a recent project. It's
Let's
the
talk about
Dangerous
it.
Ways.
This what I
You know
like.
what I'm
Dangerous
saying?
ways. Yeah, this what I like.
Right?
This what I like. Yeah.
That's the joint, and that joint's got everybody on that joint.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, talk to us about Dangerous Ways.
So that's another one of those projects for the people. You know, I know I've had so many people ask me to do songs with people. Like, yo, why
Yeah.
don't you work with so and so? And I've worked with so many people only for us to really not really vibe how we wanted to. The music's dope, but there's nothing there, right? And there's nothing wrong with that because that's for the sake of hip hop, right? Um, with that, it was honestly all my niggas was available,
Wow.
and that was rare.
Wow.
That was rare. It
Wow.
was that was rare. It was a dope collection of music I've had accumulated while I was living in California, but I wasn't able to put it out because we pushing this gold chain line, right? So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like I really feel like I came to gold chain to be a team player to show the people like though you can be a boss, you can also come be
Yeah.
a part of a movement. That's hip hop, crew love right there.
Yeah.
It never changed. So, yeah, it was like that shit really special. I wasn't gonna drop. Special gave me some shit. Special gave me a beat, and I'm like, well, I gotta do something with this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it wasn't like a building block, but it was more so like that project was sitting there, and I needed something to like put the icing on the cake, and it was like that was it right there.
Yeah.
And then a couple of songs, honestly, was just joints that I never got to put out. Like I said, that it's like yo, it fit. Like when you put it fit, it's like a puzzle, right? Because sometimes you don't go in to make a project, and that's what was so dope about that. One of my dopest takes was something I didn't even set out to write, right? So it was good. It was a great soundscape of producers, and that's rare to get a bunch of
Yeah.
producers and they all accommodate each other. Then to have like Pro Dillinger, SD Knack, and fucking have um Hush Kingpin. You never get no K.BURNS or Hush Kingpin shit, right? I know what the people want, right? So I gave it to them on that one tape. And the response was crazy. The touring was crazy. I was able to go back home with it and go coast to coast with that shit. So I learned a lot on that tape and business, because so many doors have opened up from there. And without that tape, I probably wouldn't. Again, it rolls into the next one. So now I come off tour and I'm bored. And I'm
Yeah.
saying to myself, yeah, I'm steaming, I'm hot, I'm feeling myself, right? And I ain't doing no music. And I went to my boy crib one day and he made a beat in front of me, and now we making Dangerous, and now we making War Dog. It was like, oh, right? So it's like, and this shit happens quick. You don't set out to do it, right? And now we doing that. We get into this sound now, right? And it's like, all right, let's see if we could X out of that mode and just zero in on this one. So I like going through them chambers, right? It's like I'm starting to understand what 36 chambers is about, right? So
Yeah.
it's about moving on to the next level. I don't try to be the last artist I was on that project on this next one. That's why I always make sure I keep the projects seen differently. It's very rare I do a part two. I'd rather re-release it and give you some extra shit. Maybe I might have missed a cue or two,
Yep.
right? Or a scene or two I could have did. So how I'd rather add that than put a part two out. That's why I haven't done any part twos
That's
yet. So
really interesting. That's a real. That's because and there's no knock to people that do that, right? But it's an
nah, not at all.
artistic preference that
Right,
you're
right,
like,
right,
look, I'm doing this. That's this chamber. I might give you a deluxe, right? But after that, I'm gonna move on to
right,
War Dogs. You know what I'm saying?
right. And for me to, because I've done part twos, and see the reason I haven't done a part two for nothing else is because I'm in search of a part four of
Uh,
something else, right?
uh,
So I've already did Brooklyn State of Mind 1, Brooklyn State of Mind 2, right? I know what tape would have been Brooklyn State of Mind 3, but I changed the title, right? So it's like deep down in my heart, I'm looking for the part 4 or something. Y'all done missed out on that, and that's what the hood want. And I'm not even on that type of, I don't even talk that way no more.
yeah.
As a man, I'm a whole different man. I'm not 18, 19. So, you know, these these is layers and levels and stuff that you learn, and then I'm not looking at my favorite rappers no more. I'm sitting around them. right? I'm in the studio with these niggas, right? So this shit is different. You know, it's different when, like, I remember the first time I'm in the studio with Asia. It's like, we really doing this right now? Like, yeah, we doing this. Like, all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, first time you
Yeah.
get a tri-state feature, it's like, this is what we sound like. It's like, yeah, this is what we sound like, you know? So I go through these phases where it's like I gotta pinch myself, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's me on a Mad Lib beat. Wow. Like, I'm at Evidence crib recording, and he's bugging off the verse. Wow, you know, so like, these moments is crazy, you know?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
beautiful, man.
yeah, that's what it's about. That's hip
Yeah.
hop. That's hip
Yeah.
hop.
Talk to us about, because there's Team Fame, right? But then, you connected with Gold
Yeah,
Chain. Talk to us about how that
yeah,
happened. And you mentioned in the spirit of hip hop also how you knew that as a CEO to also be able to collaborate and kind
yeah,
of be like, all right, now I'm going to be a team player.
definitely.
Unpack that a little bit for us.
Uh, like, you know, me and Asia got a lot of mutuals. You know, like inside and outside of music. You know, my it's no secret. My grandfather is one of the elders of the 5%ers. You know, so and it's just a lot of like when you cross a path with people. You know, I met Sab Kill when I was 21, and Sab Kill was like, "Yo, you Gold Chain." Before I even knew Asia personally, and I'm like,
Wow.
"Nah." Until Asia night me, I ain't saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? So when I finally met Asia and it went down, it was like, "Yo, I hope you know, like this is not just some like you can't just tell a person like me that I'm gonna run with it." And we've been running with it ever since. And we just been trying to give it its new polish without taking away from the essence. Because like that's Gold Chain. That's a you know what I'm saying? That shit hold a lot of weight in this hip hop community. So it's like I wear that. It's like a purple heart almost. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like everybody, one thing everybody know about us, no matter what, we the rap niggas, right?
Yeah.
We gonna rap. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like we gonna rap. You know what I'm saying? Like all the
Right.
you can say I take this shit off. We gonna rap. You know, and, just to be able to come and actually connect with your favorite collective of all time and actually like it's a role there for you. You see like the influence and how you fit in now and everything. It's a blessing. It's utterly a blessing. And we a family. Like we really a family. Like we argue, we fight. This ain't just some rap shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not no internet shit. They're like these is my brothers. We cry together. We laugh together. We go through shit
Right.
as men, right?
Right.
But we still keep it hip hop and we still get the people what they want. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about what we built and what we building today because it's like it's not something fresh. It's something that we got to build on top of, right? And we got to keep that legacy going. So
Yeah.
I wear it in very high regard wherever I go, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's dope, man.
yeah.
Can you talk to us about War Dogs?
War Dog. So um, War Dog is like my alter ego because like I know I come off as such a nice guy and everything, you know, but I'm not really friendly. You know, I'm not really a people person. I'm a Scorpio. I'm very reserved and like introverted. So music allows me to be an extrovert, right? But I never did a tape that was like militant. Like this is what I
Mm.
stands for. This is what Brooklyn stands for. Like whatever you think, this is it. You know, because a lot of times people might go overt with the being gangster, right?
Yeah.
And then you might go overt with knowledge of self, right? And
Yeah.
I think that project kind of gave me that perfect balance, right? Because I'm not a 5%er, right? But I do got knowledge of self. So
Yeah.
like War Dog is more so like my dead president's hip hop type shit, right? But I got a bunch of them, and I wanted to do a project where we introduce this new collective that me, E the Mad Assassin, Taylor Crown, Slim Fuego, and Face on Broadway. Like, you know, we formed the Borgata because we doing all these shows and touring and we got so much shit that we doing together. We actually bringing something fresh that we like, yo, you know, we could have our own version of Strong Arm Steady. We could have our own, because we all part of different shit, right? But we could
Yeah.
all come together and form this. And that project was more like the spearhead of what we can sound like together. That's why each one of these guys was on there with me, and then we really was able to put that brand together and actually spearhead what we trying to bring forth by the end of the year. But now we know what we sound like. You know, a couple of people done seen us together, and we got to see the synergy and see the impact of what we really can do. You know, it's dope when you got Face going, and then Slim Fuego going, and then Taylor Crown going, and then Even Man Assassin going, and then I'm going. Then we go to that city, we gonna switch it up this night, and then we go over there. You know, we keep it hip hop. Everybody get their love and get their shine, and it's a collective, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's the boss here. Nobody started it. This is something. This is our baby, right? So it was good to use that K.BURNS solo project to put that on there, right? Because now I can always say I got that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It feels good. My brothers hold me down. Like these are the guys outside of Gold Chain and Team Fame that you don't see that's like really behind me, making sure that I keep my shit sharp, not just musically, but as a man. You know what I'm saying? We be accountable for each other. Like these is like my brothers for real, and they've been there for me in my darkest days living out in West. Like you know, it's a lot of lonely times out there with no family. So you know, these guys have become my family, like through and through. Holidays together and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know, because we all come from somewhere else. You know.
Yeah. I'm from the East Coast living in LA. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
I
you know what I'm
already know.
saying? It's
It's
different. It's different out here
different.
than the East Coast.
Yeah. Holidays is different. I tell people all the time when you go to the West, you know, if you're not from there, like when I'm out there, I don't have like holidays. Like I said, I gotta go get with the guys and we go get some butter, some liquor and watch a game or something. When I'm home, I'm more so on family time when I'm back here and shit. So I appreciate like the moments and like you know, the guys was there for the album and they like really helped bring another creative side of me out. Because like I said, I'm fresh off a Dangerous Ways tour. I'm like, I don't want to do no album. I'm feeling myself. I just bought a new car. I'm like, all that rapidy rap shit, right? All that rapidy rap, because they do hit you, right? Because they think you act like they so fucking perfect. So I'm doing rapidy rap shit, driving, and I got a car. Again, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drive to the studio, and just doing that one little trip to the studio turned to a whole month and a half process of really carving out a great hip hop piece. I wanted to put it out in November. It was done already.
Wow.
You know, so it was done. Like we had to sit on it though, and like really go back and tweak the cover. You know, I wanted to change the cover. I wanted to do an alternate art cover. I wanted to reach out to Craig Dyer and this one and that one. And it's like, nah, you know, no shade to them. I do this. Like, this is my art. I got the cover. You know what I'm saying? And I nailed it, and it felt good. You know, it's just like to see it come to life. So that's one of my proudest projects to date because that's something that's totally K.BURNS, right? Even down to the beats, right? Like I'm in there with Sir Haya, and I'm like, yo, Haya, look, we don't need all that on the beat, bro. Let me rap right here. I got it. You know what I'm saying? So he looking at me like, you sure? Like, nigga, I ain't done. I'm like, nah, it's done. I got it. Like, look, so we had that process, and it was fun. I'm in the studio with him. He got all these fucking toys around, and I'm playing with ninja chucks and shooting bows and
Wait,
arrows
he's
and
got
shit.
like retro,
Bro,
like vintage
yo,
toys?
this nigga got real life bow and arrow. Like, he got the bow and arrow gun in the crib. I'm trying to shoot that shit. Yo, he got footage of some of the shit I be doing in the studio that he gonna put out eventually. Trust me, the Ninja Chuck shit y'all saw last year wasn't nothing. That would just be showing. You know, these is moments. Again, this is moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the process leads to the moment. You know what I'm saying? For real. Mm-hmm.
That's dope, bro. The you know, you're prolific, and I know you're
Appreciate it.
always working on stuff. Is there anything coming, you know, that you want to share with folks that's coming? Because you're
All
pro.
right,
I
so
mean, you
look.
always you. I know you're not done dropping stuff in 2025.
Nah. Somebody called my bluff this year, right? And I was like, you know, I'm gonna do that because I always wanted to do it. And I had announced that Stoner Life was a 10-year project, and that Team Fame was turning 10 years old. Somebody commented 10 tapes for 10 years, and it's like bingo, light bulb goes off. So y'all getting 10 tapes this year. The fourth tape, the fourth total, y'all getting 12. So like total, I'm gonna drop 12. So got the Gold Chain compilation out. You gonna drop a Bugatti compilation and 10 K.BURNS solos over the year. So we not missing.
You about to
And
flood it.
the I always wanted to do it. I just had to get to the right point, right? And live on your show, we announced it now. Like fuck it, I'm not wanting to hold no secrets with the people. So War Dog has only got one video for a reason. I know people been asking. War Dog is in the process. I just finished writing the script to the short film War Dog. So we're going full scale motion picture. So my first short film, I think it's one of my hardest feats is actually writing the script. We actually in post editing for the script right now. I got a little team behind me of creators. You know, I moved to California, so I had to email some niggas like, yo, look, I need your expertise here. I ain't the best, but you know, we loving it. You know, I did my thing on it. We doing a War Dog movie that'll be out before the year is up. You know,
That's
so that's
dope.
yeah. So it's
But
like we told this is
everybody's
gonna
gonna be in it.
everybody gonna be in it and then some. Like everybody on the tape gonna be in it. the entire Borgata. I don't want to spoil
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
gonna be in it,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if they on the project, they on it. That's as far as it's going. You know what I'm saying? But I got a lot of people you might expect to see in it. I got a couple of people you might not expect to see in it. You know, so I've confirmed a lot of people from casting. And, it's not gonna be what you think, but it's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that was definitely my biggest test of creativity. Was like, could I do it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's done. Like it's something like I said, I've been working on that for the last since I dropped the project. You know, it's like it's been forming. So I want to really see if I got that Spike Lee touch coming from the same neighborhood. Like I could do this shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And be ready. So, you're gonna be at the screening. Don't
Yeah,
worry about it. We doing a screening
yeah,
in
bro, I need
LA,
to
New
be
York.
there.
But yeah, if you got private screeners, I got you, baby. Don't worry about it. And that's why we didn't put the vinyl out yet, because we're gonna put everything out together. You know, everything is one.
Yeah. That's gonna
Yeah,
be a
one.
big drop, like a
It's
big moment where everything drops.
everything. We aiming for Black Friday, but if not Black Friday, we definitely gonna have it out for the Christmas season. You know,
Yeah.
and I got a trailer coming for over the summer. So like again, you know, we doing this when it comes to motion film and motion picture. I tell people it's two different things. You know, you got film, right? And I'm doing a short film, so that's motion film. I want to be able to show my shades of what I could do with the right budget and the right people and the right resources on motion picture. You know, and I think I could take it big screen. You know, I know I could take it big screen. Look what we doing in this hip hop shit. You know, so as long
Man,
as
that's
y'all hold me
dope,
down, we there,
man.
baby. As long as you just hold me down, baby. You know, I might
That's
be burning
so
the weed.
dope. Well, and
For
you've got
real, so
all the experience from, obviously being creative and working with the sound aspect, but you've done so many music videos, so many shows where there's the
yeah,
theatrical aspect of
yeah,
shows.
yeah.
You're ready for that long
I mean,
format.
so from rollerblading, right? I used to make my sponsor tapes. My little brother played basketball. I used to make his highlight tapes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I can do it, but I got a team. Like, I don't want to step outside the box of visionary, writer, actor. That's
Yeah.
it. Like I want to really so like I'm letting the experts do what the experts do, and I even told one of my guys like don't think I like look when it comes to the editing and stuff. I'm just there to like say I did. You guys got to do your job, you know. So and it's another time where I got to teach myself how to take the back seat. So I love it. You know, I'm looking forward to that. You know,
Yeah.
because it's humbling. It's humbling.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope, man. But you also share with us right now that you're gonna be dropping like ten
Yeah,
projects, right?
yeah,
Um
yeah.
you is that like one, we're in May, so is that gonna be like one a month,
All right, so we're gonna do yeah, one a month. We're gonna do the math right now. So what we did War Dog, then we did the Gold Chain
yeah,
tape,
yeah,
right? Then we did we came after that Big Red Machine,
yeah,
right? And Stoner Light. So it's May. We going on Project 5. You know what I'm saying? So I got y'all. Just fuck with me, you know. And I'm gonna fuck with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Show
bro.
that.
That's dope.
Show that. And
And
I
so,
appreciate it.
obviously we're here, we're on social media, but I want to make sure that people know where to go find all the music, where to make the purchases, you know what I'm saying? What
Yeah.
are the right places to go to?
Everything right now is kburns.bandcamp.com and teamfamegvng.bandcamp.com. So, like, my old catalog, all the classics, Kilo Dreams, and Ballad of Goldie, that's on my original Bandcamp. I'm not going to take it down because I know the collectors love that.
Yeah,
But everything is on a new team. Everything is through the company. You know, we so fixed on this company. We made it for 10 years, so we just want to make it another 10 years. And we're going to
yeah,
do this shit the right way and keep pushing that line, you know? And that's what it's
yeah,
about. Hmm.
yeah. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
To make sure that you get a chance to like plug the company and everybody that you work with and give the proper shout outs to everybody who's on your team and other
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Team Fame and everybody you want to shout out. Let's make sure that we get that
Let me
in.
see. Let me see. There's so many of y'all ugly niggas out there. Y'all watching this shit. Y'all know how Bernie do, man. I come out there. I'm the little brother that come through fucking with everybody. I'm like Michael Jackson. I want to know what that do and touch. But nah, look, for real, for real. First and foremost, shout out God. Shout out my mom, my kids, my family, my brothers. Um, the whole Gold Chain music, like literally the whole Team Fame, like Team Fame Gold Chain is a family. You know, Grimy Life Records, my nigga Big Twins, Shree G's, God bless the dead, my brother Scar. You know, I love my brother Scar to death. Y'all know that. A lot of my friends been dying. You know, that's why I'm back here and shit. You know, we losing a lot of people. I
Yeah,
don't even want to leave nobody. So we gonna shout the world out. You know what I'm saying? But A special shout out though, for real, to somebody that they really don't might not. I don't really get to like speak to them as much. We do speak a lot, but we don't. I don't really get to tell them how much I love them. Shout out to my dog Architect. That's my without Arc, I'd have been left this shit alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was in a dark space and recorded some street shit, and he kind of like just he wasn't hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And he always that's the one motherfucker that's gonna call. He's like an uncle I never had. You know what I'm saying? And R.I.P. to my uncle Ricky, because that's what I'm doing this hip hop shit for. Without my uncle Rick, I wouldn't be doing this shit. I'd probably be somewhere in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He always kept me on them beats, and my uncle P's always kept me with the pen in my hand. So shout out to my uncle, both of them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope, my bro.
appreciate
That's dope.
it.
My bro, it's been an honor to have you on the Cristopolis show. You covered so much material.
Yeah,
You're such an incredible artist. We opened it up talking about the mixtapes, the dozens of mixtapes that are out
yeah,
there. You know, you just hit the 10-year anniversary of your company and the Stoner's Life. You're dropping a total of 10 projects this year. We talked about the motion picture. You shared knowledge with us on merchandising, touring, the New York Cali
yeah,
Connect,
yeah,
right? The
yeah, yeah,
Dodgers, the
yeah.
Dodgers, you know what I'm
The
saying?
Dodgers, the Dodgers,
Hey,
they
hey,
got it.
but listen,
They
if the
from Brooklyn,
Dodgers
they
win
got
it
it.
again this year, that might be why
Listen,
you got to do the baseball
I
tape.
ain't gonna lie. Every time the Dodgers won, when I was in LA, that shit different. That shit different. And I've been home when the Yankees won. Nobody don't do it like LA and New York. So I love being like in both cities, man. Like that shit is crazy when the Dodgers win. Motherfuckers are setting buses on fire.
Yo,
We don't do that shit in New York. That nigga
I
crazy.
went out, right? So like when they won, I was with my wife and my kids, and I was like, yo, we may not see this again, right? Let's just go take a spin, right?
Right.
Because you never know. I mean, they might win it right now. They may not win it for, you don't
Look
know,
at the
right?
Mets.
So
The
we
Mets
went
ain't
down
win
to
it
Echo
neither.
Park.
Look, bro. So look, right? So I got the car. We're driving. What's that? I live downtown. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm in LA, I'm downtown. So what's that? The 6th Street Bridge? Oh, they
Yeah.
wrecked that shit. They wrecked that shit. All the way from 6th Street Bridge all the way to Elysian Park. They just went crazy. I said, how you gonna tear two neighborhoods up? You bugging. But you know
They
what? We
set
did the same thing
the
when
bus
Obama
on
won.
fire.
Now, when Obama won, I'm telling y'all can go look up right now. Anybody watching this, go look up Hood Rats Go Crazy in New York for Obama. And it's me and my niggas, the whole team fame out there acting a fool. So I'd have been part of the madness. I can't. But
That's
yeah,
good, bro.
it's a moment. I don't care which city win. 'Cause either way, I'm going to the World Series this
Oh,
year. That's how I feel.
that's dope.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm
That's
making
dope.
them out.
What's your call to wrap it up on a baseball note? If you had to pick, who do you think's going?
Oh, this
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
honestly, right now, if we had to go right now, you could say Padres, right? But I'm on account that I was born the day that the Mets won the World Series. That's how long ago the motherfuckers won. I think they do. I think the Mets after last year they ready to bump somebody. I'm gonna give it to the Mets in the World Series. And of course, like I want to see a Subway Series. I already saw the LA New York Series, so just give me the
yeah,
Subway Series right
yeah.
there. All right, whoever said Cubs, I'm with you. Tell you why. That's what I was gonna play for. That's probably who I would have got drafted to. So like I always root for them low key, but I think the Cubs got to. It's early. We got to see after the All Star break. You got to see because Christian Yelich ain't get hot yet. Still, you know what I'm saying. Then the torpedo bats and all the bullshit going on. So we
Yeah.
got to see what's going on. We got to see what's going on. But
Hey,
I'm gonna
but the
give it to the.
Yankees made some good changes, man. They made some good adjustments.
We lost Chapman.
Yeah,
We regretting that shit. Like every time I see him throw something, I just be like. So I think personally in the National League, I think like with Skeens and Chapman on the Pirates, that's what we got to watch out for, right? And we got to also on the American League side, I'm gonna say watch out for the Blue Jays. They got all the Hall of Famous sons is on that team, right? You got Bo Bichette, you got Kobe Clemens over there, and you got Baby Vlad, right? So you good on that sense. So I want the World Series to be the Subway Series, but I don't mind watching Blue Jays versus who I just said,
yeah,
the Pirates. That'd be
yeah,
good. That'd be good. Yeah,
yeah. That's good,
yeah.
man. That's
That's
good.
good
Drop
baseball right there.
dropping knowledge from somebody who knows.
Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah.
That's dope.
Appreciate it.
Hey, my
Appreciate
bro,
it.
it's an honor to have you on the Cristopolis show. It's a long time coming. You have an
Appreciate
incredible
it.
career, and we got to run it back when that movie dropped.
Yo, uh, You already know you on a preferred list. You want to get the
Thank
screen,
you,
the
my
private
brother.
screening and shit.
Thank you.
Cause we serious about this. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even think I'm gonna go touring for the album. I might go on a screening tour and just take it around the country. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's dope.
That's the
That's
goals.
dope.
That's the goals. We got big dreams over here. Even though we doing it on our own, we got big dreams.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yo, I'll connect with you when you're in LA, man. I'm downtown too.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah. When I come back, coffee and pizza on me.
Boom.
That's breakfast one time, and another day we're gonna do some lunch.
All right. You got it, my
All right.
brother. It's an
Peace.
honor. Salute.
Peace.